Hey everybody, it's Jochen Heiden, and I'm back with the Hellsen versus Heiden campaign. It's January 29th, 1942. Let's see what happens. Alright, looks like he finally made it into a party, but, no big deal to me because we're not there anymore. We saw that coming and we evacuated a week ago. Okay, so I got my minesweepers working on some mines at Marak. Probably about done with those. Okay, Dutch sub hanging out near Rabal. Nothing came of that, but at least he didn't hurt us. Okay, no night bombing. Would have been a good candidate for it. The moonlight's pretty high. All right, this is us bombarding Langsa. I'm bringing in a bunch of my heavy cruisers who are coming back from India. I figured I'd detour them on the way because they had lots of ammo, and we'd hit Langsa because I want to take this base next turn. This turn, I'm tired of dealing with this, so I'm hoping that this cruiser bombardment will do some damage here. Yes, it did. Excellent. So, we smashed the crap out of that base. As you can see, we had our Jakes and other seaplanes up acting as spotters here. We hit a lot of units. This should be enough disruption to take the base. Now, we trashed the base as well. I don't really care about that too much because that's his supply, not mine. That's fine. I need this base captured now. Hopefully that's enough to do it. And I'm just bringing in more troops to Singcap because I need to capture that place. I forgot to bring the AV with my engineer unit that I brought in there. Oops. Cool. Still getting mines. Man, there's still mines at Marak. All right. Same Dutch sub, same result. Look at all of those. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Look at this. You see all those subs sitting off of Cooktown? Cool. Nice. Hopefully we'll put some bombs on these guys. All right, good. So I actually stacked a lot of ooh, that's not good. I stacked a lot of ASW pilots on those bombers there, hoping that they would actually, hit those subs. So let's see if we can scare some of those subs away. All right, so I'm sweeping Lido because I want to bomb this place, and I wasn't sure if he was trying to cap trap me here or what. So here we go. I'm sending in the bombers. Hopefully we catch some aircraft on the ground here. Doesn't look like it. So I thought I saw some bombers there. Apparently not. But we hit the base and make it harder for him to operate there. Okay, more bombers coming into Langsa. I need to disrupt these guys. I want to take this place already. Okay, bombing raid on Batavia. Hopefully we can neutralize some more of his seaplanes. Cool. So we do take out another Catalina and damage another one, but the Seagulls evaded us again. Okay, I have my some Nels coming in to hit his troops here. We have clear, what do you call it? Wow, that was ineffective. Shoot. Well, that didn't go well. We had clear sky, but we don't hardly do anything. Apparently his AA there is still strong. He shoots down a couple of our Nels, and we don't really get much for it. Hmm. That didn't go well at all. So I'm going to be hitting this hex again because I have some Chinese troops shock attacking across this hex this turn to open up this rail line again. They're not particularly good troops, so I need as much disruption as I can get to ensure they get in. Okay, so we actually lose a Sonia to flak this turn, which hasn't happened over Clark in some time. Ah! Guarantee they're going to hit, guys. Watch this. 100%. They never miss. There you go, man. They never miss. God, I've never seen such accuracy. Those seagulls are the worst. So they sank my last minesweeper that I had at Merak. Or I thought there was. Well, maybe there's still more. Yep. No air attack because I think they sank the ship there. Alright. That AM phase is in the books. It was lackluster. Hmm. Well, not much happened in that PM phase. Hopefully we hit another Allied sub off of Cooktown, but it's hard to say. Okay, this is our troops landing at Sandpit. Okay, land combat today. Hopefully. Wow, look at that. He got away, guys. We should take this now, but unfortunately it looks like he did escape with a lot of troops. Okay, Eastern Command. We did get something to surrender there. Alright. We finally take that hex, which is going to open us up for further movement, which is good. Unfortunately, this does tell us that quite a bit of units did get away. So we're going to have to do what we can to stop those guys from getting much further than that. Alright, well, one command headquarters destroyed. I'll take that. Lot of devices that'll give us some good points. Alright, so it looks like he's got 147 assault value in this hex here. Good to know what we're dealing with there. And then this is our turn to bombard him. I think we have superiority in this hex as far as big guns, so I'm hoping we can wear him down a bit. Wow, and we don't. That was not a good trade at all. Okay, well, so bombarding there is not going to be an effective strategy at all. And our initial shock attack to dislodge him from that hex goes about as well as you would expect, i.e. terribly. These Chinese troops are just not very good. Alright, this is me deliberate attacking him at Nanning. Hoping we can try to get him out of here this turn, but I don't know. Let's see. What do you guys think? Do we have enough here to do this? Yes! Oh, good. Good, good, good. Whew. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Wow, look at that. That wasn't good at all. So, we captured Nanning, but it was very costly for us. Look at these casualty numbers. Mostly disablements, but still, that's a lot. So, at least we do have this base now, and we can start building up some defenses. We have a foothold into this part of China. It's, you know, we can turtle up here now. That's fine. So we were able to finally escape the death stack of his troops coming towards us, and we can start preparing for defense. All right, and these are my troops attacking him at Tejipo. And we capture that. Everybody's surrendering. Kind of thought we would have left them an escape path, but possibly not. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten into Submarine. So we do stand a higher chance at this point of there being damage to the oil and refineries at Tejipo. It is what it is. Okay. Deliberate attack at Langsa. I'm hoping we take it this turn with that bombardment that we brought in. I'm thinking that was enough. Let's see. Yes, we got it, guys. Now, where these guys actually retreat to, I have no idea. Okay. Exactly where I don't want them to go. Yeah. So now they're here. Now we're going to have to get them off that hex so we can rail all this stuff. But you know what? That's fine. I'll take that. At least we have the base. The dots are mostly connected now. It took a lot, but we got it. All right, let's press on. See what else we got. That's it. All right, well. Couple base expansions there. Not the worst turn ever. The air combat today wasn't so great. I think we lost a lot of aircraft. What else? We did capture a couple bases that I really needed though, so that's gonna help. Man, I need to get some more troops up there. All right, we'll take a look at the numbers. Well, I think we dodged a bullet over here in Luchao, sorta. Kinda. Could have been. This could have been a bad, even worse than it was. But we'll talk about this China situation. But let's look at our numbers first. So aircraft losses for day, not as bad as I thought. 5 for us, 2 for him. 2 Sonyas, 2 Nels, and a 0. He lost 2 PBYs. Of those 5 aircraft lost, we had 3 KIA pilots. Let's take a look at our wounded pilots today, see what we got. Anything special going on there? Looks pretty good, actually. Okay. So 1 wounded pilot who's coming back. That's good. And then on the reserve group, we've got the 4 wounded pilots that we've had before. Let's see. Army lost points for this turn. The Allies lost 184. We lost 3, and no strat points gained. Ship sunk last turn. The only thing we're showing is that coastal minesweeper off of Merak. Once again, his seagulls have 100% accuracy and never miss. So that ship is dead. Okay, for the turn, we went up 260 points, bringing our win ratio up to 2.627, which again is a high watermark for us. As of today, it's the highest we've been to date. All right, let's take a look at combat reporter real quick. On sea, we had some a little bit of Dutch K-18 sitting off of a ball. Nothing came of that. At Merak, we cleared 23 mines. There's still more, and we have no more ships to sweep those with right now. On the ground, we had a victory at Tejepo. So check this out. I thought these guys surrendering would cause us a problem, but if we see here, these 3 guys are dead, and we come down here to Java, and Tejepo has almost no damage. So once again, we capture another oil base with like no damage. We are on a roll right now, guys. It's really good for us right now how much oil that we're capturing without having a lot of damage to it. Nanning. Big, big, big. Probably the most important thing that happened this turn. We were finally able to kick the Chinese out of Nanning, which gives us somewhere to hide. Okay? So he had, looks like 1 fort level here. We were able to overcome that. I thought it was maybe 2. I don't know. We overcame it. We got in there. The casualties were a bit higher than I was expecting, but really it's not a big concern because most of those are disabled, and we'll get those back. So what we need to do now is take these guys and divide them up because they will individually recover faster if we do that. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Anyway, good for us. Langsa, we bombarded here and we bombed it and we got the Allies out of here this turn. Good stuff. Finally, we were able to break through. I figured I had tons of heavy cruisers coming through the strait anyway, going back to Surabaya, so why not detour a few off and bombard? And I think it was kind of what turned the tide for us here, which is great. And now we can continue connecting the dots between Sabang and Medan and start continuing down into the rest of Java. Really good. Howrah, another important base we captured today. We broke through here, which now enables us to start spreading out into India from Calcutta. And then some minor engagements on the ground in China. The last one is at the crossroads here. We bombarded. I figured all my heavy artillery would do something here, and basically it was a net. It was a wash. I definitely cannot attack here with these odds, not in this terrain. So this is going to continue to be a stalemate indefinitely. Air engagements today, basically nothing worth mentioning. There was just routine stuff. I'm not even going to bother wasting your time with it. Sigint. Something at Dunedin. So I'm very certain that Hellsen is definitely using New Zealand as a waypoint for moving stuff in and out of Australia, because you also see here we have radio traffic right here near Greymouth. Something at Chikiang, I don't care. That is Sigint hit in Soviet Union, don't care. And then something happening at Tennant Creek, I'm not surprised. This is a very important base for the central part of Australia, so he's doing something here. Nothing I can do about that. Okay, looking at the ops report, We'll start with the Intel tab. Unfortunately, I do see some bad stuff here. Delhi size 6 and Bhopal size 5. So if we look at that, Delhi is here, right? And Bhopal is right here. So he's definitely, this is the line that he's defending, guys, right here. This is his line in India that he's going to really put up a lot of resistance at. And quite honestly, I don't intend to exceed that line because if I do, it crossing anywhere near here is going to activate emergency reinforcements for India, and in which case these guys will come in from Aden and land at Karachi, and that is too far for me to reach right now. So honestly, I'm not really interested in probably crossing that far anyway, anytime soon. So if he wants to reinforce this line, that's fine. I'll take all the rest of this down here. It is bad for me, though. That means that these bases can definitely, so Bombay, Bhopal, Delhi can definitely operate his 4-inch bombers with no restrictions. So this is dangerous for me to get too close to these things, but I may have to at some point. Okay, what else do we got here? The Japanese tab, 4 bases captured. Again, we already mentioned those, but it's nice to actually see us have bases captured. Replacements. So this is the this unit was devastated in Australia, and basically the only thing I was able to salvage from it was 5 aviation support squads. But as you see here, we were able to get it back to Port Moresby, and it's already on the process of rebuilding. So we've got more aviation support, we've got engineers, SNLF squads. It's recovering. Here's its TOE. It's got a ways to go, but this is why it's always good whenever you can, try to rescue a unit that's, and don't let it get completely destroyed, because it's cheaper and easier to just reinforce it and put more devices in it like this, as opposed to buying it back, waiting 2 months for it to respawn in the home island and shipping it back. So I was able to rescue this little bit of it. The rest of it died in Australia, but it's already being rebuilt. So that's good for me. And let's see here. We'll talk about this unknown tab. So, like for one, it looks like we had another R&D success on the HA-45 engine. So we'll take a quick look at that on the industry tab. For those of you interested in research and development, it's an engine that's being researched, and the HA-45 has just ticked up another month. So it looks like we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% per day on research on this engine. There's 1% gain for every factory that's at 30 or more. And after we get to 100, this reduces the amount of time until this engine comes into play by 1 month. So we've already moved this thing forward twice now, I believe. Eventually, we'll get it down into probably late 42, I'm guessing. Late 42, early 43, and then that enables us to have aircraft that use this engine a little bit sooner. Or at least start building this engine and getting a 500 engine stockpile for R&D on the other aircraft that use it. And then last but not least, the 15th Division is being upgraded in Shanghai. And I'm doing that because I intend to use this unit in China here very soon, because I've got reinforcements coming into Shanghai to take over garrison duty. And it looks like some of the devices we're getting are more than likely going to be these 47mm Type 01 anti-tank guns. I think we had 37s before. Now we got 47s. So that's kind of the stuff that's getting upgraded at this time. And then there's our TOE. So that was definitely what it was. It was these 47mm guns. Cool. All right. Let's go around the map. We're done with Combat Reporter. No activity in Northern Pacific. Nothing really sighted near Pearl. Okay. Nothing anywhere. That is a doornail. Home Islands are good. Nothing to report here. Manchukuo is good. China. All right. So a couple things I want to point your attention to. We're going to start attacking here next turn to attempt to get this guy off our rail line. It looks like this terrain is clear. We have an AV advantage, so I think we may be able to do something with these guys. So we're going to keep attacking these guys every turn and see what comes of that. I'd love to dislodge them, push them back into the mountains here somewhere so we can continue on getting these rail lines opened up. Additionally, we will be attacking here next turn for the exact same thing. I think he's much weaker here than he is up here because this is one of those fragments of units he's been dividing up. So we should be able to blow these guys out of here or destroy them entirely. We attacked here last turn but didn't break through, but that's okay. I've got reinforcements coming up there. I'm just trying to clear these rail lines right now. So looking at the attack up here, or not attack, the advance, I'm shifting forces around towards here, and I'm also bringing up reinforcements up the Xi'an Road. I'm looking to have a little over 1,000 assault value here at Kungchang before we initiate our attacks. I really, really need to break through here to sever the oil lines from Lanchao to Chongqing. So there's basically three things we have to do here in China to start wearing him down is cut the fuel here, cut the fuel from Magway over here, and we've already cut the Burma road, and then we also need to finish cutting the supply from India, which can come in through Ledo. Once we do that, the only indigenous supply that China will have will be from their heavy industry in places like Chengdu, Chongqing, and the light industry in other places. That's basically their, and whatever small industry that or supply ingress that these bases naturally produce for themselves every turn. That's all he'll have. That supply level is just enough to keep these guys fed. It is not enough to sustain them in the field in combat. So if I cut off these main supply areas, that basically renders the Chinese unable to supply themselves, and we can just wear them down. Once we get them out of supply, their combat effectiveness drops to very almost nil. They can't repair their units. They can't put new devices in them. It's just a matter of time. All right. Taking a look over here in the Luchao area, and this is the area that I feel like I've misplayed probably the worst during this campaign. I over committed here. We got counterattacked and lost a lot of troops. But one thing that did happen this is good for us is that we pushed the Chinese out of Nanning, which is a base that has a little bit of terrain, right? So we got ×2 terrain on our side here. We'll start building up forts because as you can see, I have a ton of engineers here, probably more than I can even utilize. But we'll start building up all this stuff here. And on top of that, I've been, in the last couple days, moving supply from Pescadores and Takao into Haiphong so that the supply can flow basically into Nanning direct, because that's where the supply draw is going to be. So what we'll do here is we'll take this and set the supply draw to about what's it actually at? We'll I want to bias it a little bit, so we're gonna request it to come up this way, and it should flow this way. And I've also put all these other bases to stockpile all along the supply line so that the supply doesn't, in theory, continue flowing back towards Bangkok or Rangoon. I want it all going into China, into Nanning. And hopefully we can put up a good fight here, hold on for a while until we can get reinforcements later on from the Guards divisions that are spawning in Indochina. I'll come in here into Nanning and we'll figure out how to counterattack and get back into this thing. Right now, I just need to survive it. All right, we'll take a look now at the Burma region. So we are one day away from going into Magway. We are now into Mike Tila. So I'm going to put these guys into combat mode. The rest of the army's falling up from behind. These guys are going to come in this way and take the base Tungi. And then we should own these three bases within 2 to 3 turns, and we'll continue in towards Mandalay and Lashio. I'll send one unit up towards Shuebo, and then into Kata, and then into Warazup, and Mik I can't even say that. And that will basically more or less effectively sever the land bridges from India, which we may already have. into China, and then we just start needing to come down this way and take these bases here, and then that's basically it. Lashio is going to be definitely the hardest base to capture here. He's going to have a ton. He's got a ton of troops here, probably pretty decent troops here, and he's on ×3 terrain. He's probably got decent forts here, so I suspect Lashio will hold out for a while. But quite honestly, I'm fine with that because pretty soon how it's going to work out is that Lashio is going to be sucking supply out of China to supply it here. Instead of the supply flowing into China, China's going to have to give up supply to keep these guys alive. And either way, we're drawing supply. We're going to bombard every day, occasionally attack, and force the supply draw out of China towards Lashio, and it's just not going to be any good for him. So I'm fine with that. This is going to be another slow burn place, but we're going to capture everything around him so that he's just stuck here. All right, so in India, some good news. We finally broke through here. I've got armor chasing these guys right now. I've got another infantry division heading towards Jamshedpur because there's a lot of industry here that I need that will be very well, very useful for me to keep Calcutta fed. Uh, and on top of that, I was able to strat move a division here. So what I'm going to do is have this division come down this way, defeat these units, and head straight for Lido. Actually, no. I don't think we're going to head straight for Lido. We'll probably go down here, split the division up here so we have one part moving this way and one part moving this way and another part moving that way. So we'll divide it into thirds. We'll fan out here and just take 3 bases at once and basically put a stop to any lines of communication from India into Burma and China. All right. So on Sumatra, we just captured Lengsa. Again, this was after I peeled off that cruiser task force to help bombard these guys. So now we're going to follow these guys this way. This is jungle terrain, but that's fine. They're badly damaged, even more so than before. So we're coming up from Medan and down from Lengsa, push these guys further into the jungles, into the mountains, and then we can continue down towards Sibolga, Tanjung Balai, and then we'll start working our way down towards Padang. All this stuff. We'll start capturing it from 2 different directions here, with these regiments and these SNLF units, and we'll slowly work our way down and find our way down here eventually. These are slow roads. It'll take us weeks to work our way through Sumatra, but I'm in no rush for this up here. What I really needed was Medan, and we have it now. And we're already loading up oil, and I've got more tankers on the way. And yeah, we're going to start getting some good, tasty oil into Georgetown within a turn or two. Okay, on Borneo, we've landed here at Sampit. We'll take that base out next turn. Then I'll take these guys and continue moving up to Ketapang. Take this base out, no problem. And then we'll start figuring out what we want to do about Miri, Tarakan, and Balikpapan after that. Because I think we're now at the point now where we can go ahead and take these bases because the air threat is massively diminished. He basically doesn't have any bases that he can launch his B-17s against us to take the oil out of these places. Tarakan is still a threat. Miri is not. Batavia's air base is now completely destroyed. He could still operate out of here and out of Palembang too, but that base has been damaged for weeks and he's not repairing it. So I really think now's the time we can start going a little bit harder in Borneo and maybe start going for Palembang, because I think we've done what we needed to do to neutralize bases that he could bomb us from. And that was the whole goal here. I didn't want the oil to be bombed by him before I could get aircraft in there. So I've been systematically trying to take out the bases that I think could launch raids at our oil if we take it. And I more or less feel we've accomplished that. So we can go ahead and start knocking down these oil bases. But to be clear, we already have Dutch oil flowing back towards our possessions, right? We've got, let me show you. We've got Medan. We've got Bengkalis. So Medan is going here. Bengkalis is going back to Singapore. We also have, at this time, We have oil at Tegipo, which we just captured, and Surabaya, and these have their own refineries, so they're just going to start making supply and fuel for us, and that's great. I need that too. We also have Bula and Babo, and these guys are feeding into Babel. So we already have oil moving in the right direction, and it's basically undamaged oil. The next big things to take out are going to be Palembang, Miri, Tarakan, Balikpapan, and Samarinda. And after that, Jambi, and that's more or less it. That's what we're going to need as far as oil to keep our war machine alive. Continuing on with Java, we just took out Tejipo, as I mentioned, but basically no damage to the base, which is amazing. So we're going to have the refineries on, and that's going to create fuel, which is going to flow into Surabaya, and then that can be used either shipped home or used for our fleet operations here on Java, of which we have a substantial amount of ships, as you can see. What's next turn is to take out Semarang if we can, and after that my armor is going to move down to Jilit Jap, take that base, and then I can strat move mode all my troops to Jilit Jap, and then we can start approaching and getting into Bandung and this base and work our way into Batavia and Merak. I initially had considered coming in from Singapore and landing at Merak this way to potentially, Chinese finger trap Java, kind of like this. I initially envisioned doing this from two directions, coming in this way and coming up from this way. But I honestly don't think it's even necessary now because he's holed up here. I can go around him to take Batavia, which is the last important base here, and then we'll just take our time with his troops on in Bandung, which are all holed up anyway. So I don't really need to attack it from the north or the west side. I can use those troops that I was gonna use there. I can go for Palembang, which is more important at this point. Okay, we can take a look at the Solomons. So right now, nothing's really happening over here. We do see some enemy submarine activity out here, but I don't really care because I'm not moving in those directions. But look at this. My goodness. What in the world? 5 submarines at Cooktown. So what I did here was I decided to take my Betty and Nell unit, since I don't have the enough supply currently in Cooktown to use drop tanks to fly to Cloncurry. I decided what I was going to do was just use the Bettys nearby, and look at all these subs we found. And we actually, if you look at the submarine thing, look at all the sightings, and we've hit potentially 1, 2, 3, 4 submarines at Cooktown. And I'm using aircraft that have pretty decent bomb loads, right? I took these pilots from my seaplane units and I stacked them into these Betty units because now they're flying ASW, which they have pretty decent rating. One thing I realized, though, doing this is that I have their altitude too high. So I believe how the game works is that if these guys do initiate attack, they attack from 5,000 feet. And good luck hitting stupid submarines from 5,000 feet with bombs. So what we're going to do here now is bring it down to 1,000 feet. And we're going to try this again and see if we get more hits this time. You can see here that these units are getting activity. When you see these ASW aircraft that are making contact with submarines, these are the pilots that more than likely had contact with the subs, so their ratings go up when they do it. So yeah, we're gonna go down to 1,000 feet, and then we can start putting some bombs on these guys, and maybe start whittling down some of his submarines near Cooktown. And that will clear the way for us to get more troops and supplies into Cooktown without being harassed by these submarines. If we can be aggressive enough with their aircraft, we may compel him to push his submarines out and away. And stop coming so close to Cooktown, which is more or less blockading the only way in here. So that's just something that I'm looking to do. And so far, so good. Hopefully it kind of is going to give him a little bit of a shock, and he'll realize that perhaps being this close to Cooktown is not good for his submarine survival. All right. As far as the rest of Australia, there's not really much to say here. We've given up on Townsville, so any day he will capture this base back, but that's fine. He can have it. This was never a long-term hold. I'm here for Cloncurry only. I have my troops well on their way back to falling back to Cairns or Cairns, however you Australians say it, which is a much more defensible base for me. I've already got the recon regiment here, so we'll have these guys just kind of hang out for a little bit. And then once I have all these troops back to Cairns, I can decide what I want to do from there. Do I want to continue falling back to Cooktown and make our stand here? Do I want to defend forward? I don't really know. I have to make that decision. So either way, we are out of the bulk of the danger zone at this point. I don't think he's even going to bother trying to bomb us here because he knows that he's going to get cap trapped if he tries it. So situation's okay in Australia for now. The big threats are over in the near term. All right, so that's the turn. I do apologize for taking so long to get this video out. I only got the turn back today. Hellsen, I'm not quite sure what's going on over there right now, but he's definitely having some issues getting turns done. I guess it's his new job that he's got, but I'm trying to push the pace here. I want to play. I want to get this campaign going. I don't like waiting 5 days for a turn, so I'll keep applying gentle pressure to Hellsen to get him to pump out turns a little bit faster so we can keep this thing going, because I like the momentum we've got right now. I really want to move in India. I really want to finish up operations in the Dutch East Indies, also in the Philippines, which we didn't talk about because there's nothing to talk about here. And I also really want to start hammering down in China and pushing this whole offensive towards Chongqing, because we're in the door. We're into the plains now. We just need to expedite through here. So those are the focus areas that I've got. China, Dutch East Indies, and, of course, India. Because now the door's wide open. We can start going all directions. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're new to my channel, I hope you'll stick around and continue enjoying this content, because this game is amazing and I hope you're enjoying it. In the meantime, all that's left to say is I'll catch you guys on the next one.